Next, I'd like to recommend ordinance number 2023-07-022, an ordinance amending a redevelopment agreement with Icon Hospitality LLC for approval on behalf of the Committee of the Whole.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Jaya, seconded by Sharice. Any discussion? And I will note that you received a follow-up memo from Carol, the city administrator. The ordinance that you discussed last week has not changed, and the amendment to the redevelopment agreement was revised per your direction. So section 2 that referred to a reduction in the reimbursement amount was removed per your direction. Otherwise, everything's the same. Discussion? James?
Yes, since I wasn't able to participate last week because I was out of town and not qualified to participate remotely because of my absence, I did want to mention this. I was probably one of the individuals who, in the council 2x2's discussions of this, who suggested the idea of a reduction of compensation if the project missed another due date. And that was because there's a long way to go with this project. I was able to avail myself of a tour. I'm very hopeful. I'm very appreciative of the work that's been done. I'm looking forward to the outcome, but I was concerned about when I read that the comment was it's 90% complete. It's not 90% complete. If you've been inside of it, that's not the case. And so I suggested that idea of a diminishing compensation model as a way to set a future time at which we would no longer accept further delays. I do appreciate that it's its own penalty. The delay means that the organization is not making money. There's not people staying there. There's not income coming in. That's a penalty from a business perspective. But there has to be some sense of urgency to complete this project, and that it's not a set of goalposts that can move, every 3 or 4 months. I have high hopes for the vision and how it's starting to come together. I don't know if it's 50% done. I don't know if it's 75% done. It's not 90% done. So if we have this extension, and this is, I think, to February, if we're having this conversation again in February, I'm going to be adamant that there has to be some kind of counter incentive. It's not uncommon in this kind of development program or in a construction project to have hard deadlines for developers to meet to accomplish the reimbursement that they expect from city funds. And so I'm okay with it as it is right now, but I just wanted to share. That's why I suggested that in the meeting that Chris and I attended together. And that's why I think if we're having this conversation again in February, and I'm worried that we might be, I'm going to insist on it at that time. Thanks.
Mary Alice?
Yeah, I just have to agree with James. I was away last week as well. My thoughts were very similar in that I think that we've been accommodating to all of the supply chain problems and the labor constraints that have happened. I'm very pleased to see when I came and saw what they had done, but the kitchen isn't in. There's big components that aren't in yet. They're certainly finishing up the rooms, but I don't think that, very hard for me to estimate the percentage that is complete, but I am going to be very reticent to extend this beyond February, and I won't extend it with the beyond February with the same amount that we're already committed to. So I just kind of wanted to make that public statement so that everybody is aware. Thank you.
Jaya?
Yeah, thank you. I would echo, even though I was here, I felt like putting something that was arbitrary or moving didn't feel appropriate to me. But I meant it very seriously, too, that if they are advertising the hotel to be open in November and they do not complete it until February, that is a complete breaking of trust with our community, and I expect that they will actually be honest with our community, especially if they come back asking for another extension. I do not anticipate approving another extension. I think we've been very patient and understanding with good reason. There are good reasons for the delays, but we also do expect that understanding and honesty from people doing business in Urbana as well.
Any other comments? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Hersey?
Yes.
Ms. Colacetti?
Yes.
Ms. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quisenberry?
Yes.
That motion passes.